All right, here we go again. Buckle up. Rough roads ahead. It got a little chilly today. I think tomorrow is going to be a little cooler too, and then it's going to warm up a bit. So it's kind of the way to explain it. Like if somebody's going to explain it to Mr. Trump, is it's like the Social Security thing. If you or not Social Security, the student loan thing. I paid my student loans, but I don't want to hear from any of those liars. Because I start talking about, oh, he didn't pay his student loans. That's why. That's how the deep state works. But the student loan thing. So if you cap the interest rates on credit cards at 10%, all the people with good credit are going to have to pay for it. I mean, we have an established credit card system. Mr. Trump may not realize how it exactly works because he has a lot of money. But again, that's the way to explain it. It's going to ruin all the deals and all the, and it's actually, it's going to help, it's going to hurt. See, that's what they're trying to say. See, there's something that I picked up and they're going to try to, well, it's going to help the poor people. Well, poor people with good credit are going to suffer. They're not going to be able to get credit cards. So again, it's not going to help lower income people because they won't even qualify for a credit card. The banks won't take a chance on them. The idea is that we're really still suffering from COVID credit issues. And it includes people that didn't pay their rent. And that's reality. It was they were able to refinance, but they're at the end of the refinancing world because they never stopped using the credit cards, most likely. On top of all the other stuff that was going on. People learned during COVID a lot of discretionary spending, especially people who didn't pay their rent. They could buy whatever they wanted. In fact, some people probably bought a house with money that they saved not paying rent, but it never went on their credit report because they couldn't do that until a certain point, if I'm not mistaken. So essentially, they're not paying their rent for what was like a year or something. Saved all that money, had a down payment for a house, moved into a house, and actually owed all that back rent. But again, it's not the credit issue. I feel for them. I didn't have anybody help me. They would have told me, I had no idea. I mean, what deep state was killing my family. So again, there was no way for me to figure anything out. There was probably a million ways to fix it when it happened, but again, it goes back to the deep state. So, oh yeah, the shooter looks like anytime you see back issue, it could be the deep state. I believe they have a drug they use that tightens a person up and then destroys their back. And he's a good looking guy. They would use it on him, especially if he had you know had a relationship with a young girl, or wouldn't have a relationship with a young girl, or wouldn't have a relationship with an older girl or older woman. So again, a lot of things go on in the deep state that are BS. They're not the saviors of the world, whether they be Republican, Democrat, government, or otherwise. They're just it's the old organized crime and racketeering, and they're effectuating a psychological hit. And they might use surreptitious drug. Is this person drunk? Why are they so close to the curb? Reminds me like of a drunk walking, you're holding on to the handrail. Yeah, they're pulling in their development. So if they're drunk, they're on their way home. So again, it's not going to help anyway. It'll just well, essentially, what you have is you have a bunch of people that, like I said, they're in over their head. They need to figure it out. Right. Either live with the bad credit and just get rid of it. Wait 12 years or whenever 10 years or 7 years, whatever it is when the credit cycles, or bankruptcy it, or find a way to pay it. Right. So again, one of the problems is once the debt hits the credit report, there might be very limited or no way for them to get anywhere. So that's why I was, maybe there was a loan system we could work out that picks up the next level of bad credit. Anybody that really has a job what's in over their head that could pay it, maybe within a reasonable period of time, 5 years or something like that, maybe even 7 years. Again, once you get into that, you get into the option of bankruptcy, right? And then it takes, I think, 7 years on the one of them. So they're not from what I can see, the banks aren't really taking advantage of people, but if you if you're not careful, you can get in over your head. But again, that's always been true with credit cards. So the banks are actually, uh, like I said, anytime I thought a huge balance, maybe 3,000 or something I had, and but they started sending me 0% and all this, transfer 0%, consolidation loans, maybe even 4,000 was there or something. But I have a 0% card, and no, I'm not just doing it for myself. I mean, I would be kind of, irked if that's a word, but if they ruin that whole thing. And they may not know. They may not know that they can just, go get a loan, and it may be too late for a lot of them. They didn't know that just close your credit cards, get a loan, that kind of thing. And some may have went gotten a loan and then, didn't close credit cards and ran them back up again. Again, a lot of it is discretionary spending. I agree with that. I don't agree that it's horrible until people don't make the payments. Right. Well, because before it used to be 6 months, same as cash, and you had 6 months to pay it, that kind of thing. Now you can get a loan, you can get a credit card. You don't have to get, that, or you don't have to get the loan to buy something. You can actually, float it for 18 months. Some of the cards are 18 months, 0%. Now they've already tightened it up where if you get a credit card, too many credit cards, they'll block you. So they are tightening it up a little bit. But I guess people are starting to default. Thank you, Larry. Thanks, sir. So everybody that's got good credit is going to pay if you cap the credit card rate. Well, again, last time, I think that's what this is. I'm not sure. Last time we came up with the idea of uh, just financial counseling. I don't know if they're still doing that. Maybe that's something they want to do. I would have brought that up sooner if I would have thought it wasn't in place. We put financial counseling in place somewhere between 2010 and 2014, I think, where they get notices and they get financial counseling options, and the bank itself, the credit card, offered something, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was still out there, but it may not be actually. So you get it, you'll get notices once you start carrying a balance, you get a notice about for financial counseling, right? And give them options, help them with options before they get to the point where there are no options. Right. Now, when there are no options, I don't know what to tell you. I guess they could say, well, If you do the loan thing, it'll work. So anybody that's has an employment history and they just got up and over their head and they actually have an income, I think there's loans for them, but the interest rate may be, too high to really save them. I don't know. Well, when I had the issue, I bought my VW Bug Turbo, and I had a crazy interest rate on the loan. I mean, it's like 24% or something. But it saved my life, I guess, at that point. Right. And now I worries with that vehicle too much for so many years. It was only like a couple years old or something, or a few years old. So, just listening to some things there. Yeah, Israel. I mean, there's no reason for them to harass the new government already. I mean, that's harassment. Right. I mean, it's just going to start off with on the wrong foot. Everybody else feels happy for Saudi Arabia. Now, a spirit said that they're so corrupt in those governments, they look at Syria freeing as a threat because maybe Israel will free somehow. And I'm not saying a war or anything like that. Right. So like they're not happy that Saudi Arabia or that Syria freed from some butcher. They're not happy because they see themselves as the butcher. Not saying they're the butcher, but they might be. I don't know. They just want to rain on that parade, right? The whole rest of the world's going, "Oh, how wonderful! You got rid of the torturer, the butcher." Israel's like raining on that parade. I'm sorry, I can't see them as Jewish. I just really can't. As far as not liking them being anti-Semitic, I really can't see that. But that's what a spirit was hinting that, Larry, it's because, and it could have been Hashem, I don't know, because they see themselves as that kind of government, an oppressive government, and believe in that. So they're like, well, I don't want all these governments freeing that are oppressive because we're next. Could be. Trump's not happy. Mr. Trump's not happy. Mr. Trump wants ceasefires and peace. Trump cracks me up inside sometimes. We're just waiting to see what happens when he takes office because we don't know where anything's going to go. Right. But I mean, I have some suggestions and some probabilities. The court actually wants a quiet world too. They want to. They want a. They want a legal ceasefire because they know what's about to happen. So they're projecting at me all day long. But again, curses will keep being quadrupled until they stop. Now she misread why I lifted the curses last time. So she's trying to torture me into lifting them again. So the next time it'll just whatever the 8 times, we'll just change it to octa next time. She, he, them. Right. Because she doesn't want to give me credit for anything. It's always because it's all selfish. And when they're all selfish, every last one of them, they'll all go to hell. I mean, you got to do something here to destroy what they have, so maybe they'll wake up, right? I mean, Satan's paying them like a fiend. Oh, Walmart's pretty busy. Holiday shopping is, I imagine, definitely in motion. So also that credit crunch, if they start decreasing credit, you know, it also could kick in a recession. So, well, so people will run so let's say you get a 1 year credit card for 0%. We'll just do something simple. People will run up a balance on it to buy a bunch of stuff. That's how they do their shopping, and buy bigger ticket items that they normally wouldn't buy. So if they remove that, then they won't be buying the bigger ticket items. Yeah, people are not. It's like layaway, but it's a reverse layaway. People are not in the layaway, and that's what would happen. They'd have to bring back. People would start going in the layaway more. But again, that would I think it's recessive. Well, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.